Okay, chaotics. Today's going to be a hard episode. Not because it's a difficult one, not because it's controversial, not because it's shocking, but because I think a lot of women will hear parts of themselves in it, will hear parts of themselves today. And sometimes these conversations are the heaviest one to have. Growing up, girls were always taught how to behave around men. Don't sit like that. Don't laugh too loud. Don't attract men. Be careful of men. And looking back now, that's so crazy because we were taught caution. We were taught how to stay safe. And before we were taught self-worth, we were taught fear. And before we were taught how healthy men look like, we were taught about the dangerous ones. And tell me why little girls had like a rule of how to survive men, while somehow men just skip that part because, it's them that you have to be worried about. So why would they need to be taught not to be dangerous? Why would they be taught not to harm girls? Why would they be taught that? Let's just teach the girls on how to protect themselves from these men, from these so-called men. Don't get me wrong, teaching girls safety matters. Teaching girls safety is really important. But I think a lot of us grow up holding on to fear before we even understood the danger. And that's a heavy thing to put on a child. Because the men that they told you to fear, that the men that they told you to be careful around, you think they're strangers. They're the men that are out in the corners of dark roads, or the strangers outside at late hours, or just men outside in general. Random men, basically, people you've never met before. Those, yeah, we were taught to fear them. But in reality, a lot of us girls didn't fear the strangers. It never came from the strangers. And that's one uncomfortable conversation. And I didn't think I could do this. But I am going to be the voice to a lot of girls. And I hope I can get my message straight. Because the men that we were taught to fear were not strangers. This is Chic&Chaos. It's your girl Linda. And let's get right into it. Culturally, we were raised to respect the walid. Don't talk back to the walid. Don't let your voice overpower the walid. To listen to them and obey them. They can do nothing wrong. Yeah, we were taught to just shrink ourselves so small so the walids feel big. But I'm not arguing about respecting walids, because some walids, they deserve the utmost respect, the trust. You know why? Because they've earned the trust, they've earned the respect. The word walid shouldn't just be automatically given. That title shouldn't just automatically be theirs just because they're older than us. They're the men in our family and all of that. What I'm questioning is, although respect should be where it's most earned, do not expect the level of respect when you haven't done jack shit, when you haven't done anything to earn that right. Because where's the other side of the trust? Where's the other side of the respect? Yes, you guys want us to respect you guys as walid. Yes, you guys want us to trust you guys and come to you guys. A walid should protect. A walid should guide. A walid is a qawwam at the end of the day. You should be doing a lot of things before even earning that title. To me, anyways. If you're just, let's say, if you're just my uncle and you've done nothing for me, please do not expect me to just respect you and trust you and come to you just because you're my walid when you haven't done anything to me. But yes, a walid should make girls feel comfortable, not fearful, not shamed, not silenced. We were basically just told about their rights over us, and our rights over them just went completely over their heads. And that's what I don't accept. I just don't accept that. It just does not make any sense to me. Like, where's a girl's right to feel safe? Where's a girl's right to be believed? Where's a girl's right to be protected? Where's a right of a girl that when something happens, when something terrible happens, the adult will stand behind her? Because for a lot of girls, that's where they get disappointed the most. When they expect these so-called walids to come, stand tall behind their back and protect them. And that's where the girls get disappointed the most. Not by the bad men, by the good people who did nothing. You know? Because bad men will always exist. The real question is what good people do when they find out. I think that's a conversation people avoid. Everyone wants to talk about the predators, but no one wants to talk about the enablers. Everyone wants to talk about monsters, but no one wants to talk about... but no one... The birds are tweeting. Tweeting? Yeah, the birds are tweeting. Anyways, where was I? No one wants to talk about... Because everyone wants to talk about monsters, but no one wants to talk about the silence. And silence can destroy a girl just as much. The saddest part is, most girls don't even speak. Not because they're lying, not because they're being dramatic, not because they're seeking attention. They stay silent because they know the questions that are coming. You know, what were they wearing? Why were you there? What did you do? Why didn't you say something sooner? Are you sure? Imagine something terrible happens to you, and instead of being comforted, you prepare for all these questions. You prepare for all these bombarded questions coming your way. And honestly, I think I'll stop speaking because disappointment becomes scarier than pain. Especially girls who were never protected, girls that have no fathers, girls who know how the story will end. Because eventually you stop expecting protection, you stop expecting people to believe you, you stop expecting people to care. You start expecting the silence, you start expecting excuses, and you start expecting people to just look away, to turn a blind side because it's not their story. And another thing people don't talk about is when girls are constantly getting doubt, getting silenced, getting dismissed, eventually they stop trusting themselves. And that's one of the saddest things trauma can do to someone. Because after a while, a girl starts questioning her reality. Did it happen the way I remember? And eventually a girl gaslights herself before anyone can, by protecting the man instead of protecting the child. And by hearing, don't make problems, don't cause drama, don't expose the family, and you're being crazy. And I know a girl like that who became so used to being dismissed that she started doubting her own pain, her own memory, her own instincts. I think that's one of the cruelest things you can do to anybody. Not just hurt them, but make them feel crazy for being hurt in the first place. I heard a story once about a young girl. The kind of girl who still laughed, who brightened up a room she entered, who still trusted people, thought adults were heroes and that they could do anything and everything good. She still believed if something bad happened, someone would come protect her. And one day, a man crossed that line, a line he never should have crossed. And she told her father. Her father turned the world upside down to protect his little daughter, to protect his little child, his little child. He turned everything inside out. He created chaos in the family, not giving two. He didn't care. All he cared about was protecting his child and getting justice for her. But yeah, as soon as her father found out, he stood up immediately. No hesitation, no questions asked, asking her, are you sure? Did this happen? Are you sure? Because why would a girl lie? Why would a young girl lie about something like that? Something that they shouldn't be made aware of. Something that shouldn't have happened. But yet it did. And instead of being questioned, her father believed her. He didn't protect the family reputation. He didn't protect the man's image. He wasn't worried about people gossiping. All he cared about was his baby girl. Just anger. He was so angry. You know, the kind of love a child deserves, the kind of protection a child needs. He was able to do that for her. You know, the kind of love that action speaks louder than words, that actions, that you matter more than anybody else. You know, the kind of love that says, I believe you, I'm with you, you don't have to carry this alone. The man was exposed, held accountable, removed from family gatherings, and for the first time since it happened, the girl slept peacefully. Then she woke up and realized none of it happened. Her father wasn't there. Nobody protected her. Nobody stood up. Nobody demanded accountability. The Walid stayed respected. The men stayed welcomed. The family carried on. The gathering continued. His seat was still warm. And she went back to living the nightmare she never escaped. And that's the part that gets me, because the whole world seems to have carried on. She had to carry it while he continued it. And I think that's what breaks my heart the most. Not every girl gets justice. Not every girl gets protection. Not every girl gets believed. And eventually you stop imagining justice. You stop expecting it. You stop hoping for it. You just learn to survive. You know what's scary? A lot of women can relate to this conversation. No names, no details, no explanation, just silence. That's how common these experiences are, and that's how common it is in most households. That's how many women carry stories no one knows. That's how many women sat through conversations like this and thought, me too. And the thing people don't understand is life doesn't move on. You still wake up, you still pray, you still go to work, still attend family gatherings, still smile, still laugh. And somehow people think that you're okay and that you've healed. But no, it doesn't mean that. It just means you've just given up. You've just given up of expecting people to care. Because even when they hear about it, they gasp. You know, they probably are shocked at first, but then they just carry on like nothing happened. Like what you just told them wasn't heartbreaking. Like what you told them wasn't so shocking, so disgusting to hear. Yet you leave that girl to carry on this heavy thing, not on her shoulder, but on her heart. You know, the kind that carries them everywhere they go. The kind that just makes you who you are before that terrible thing happened. And yeah, people just disregard you, thinking maybe if we don't speak about it, she'll forget. But she never forgets. She just carries it and carries it and carries it for years, hoping someone will talk, but no one talks. No one stands up for it. Because the same men, you see them at the family gathering, laughing, joking, people saying salam, and you're just watching, knowing every single person that said salam to that man knows, but turns a blind eye. while the girl just looks in silence, feeling disgusted, feeling disappointed, feeling broken because no one spoke up, because these so-called walids that she's supposed to respect did not come and save her. So she carries it alone, quietly, throughout the years. And somehow people still wonder why women never forget. And you know what makes me angry? It's not that it happened only, but the silence, the conversation stops becoming about this one person that harmed you. It becomes about people around him that are so silent because the adults around them chose comfort over accountability. And that's the part people don't want to hear, because predators don't stop because they found morality. They stop when someone stops them. Someone puts an end to it. Silence doesn't protect girls. Silence protects predators. Every time someone says, let's keep this matter private, don't make problems, think about the family, what will people say, every single time a predator gets another opportunity, another room, another gathering, another child, another victim. And I'm sorry, the people who knowingly protect the predators are not innocent to me. You may not have committed the crime, but you helped create the monster. You enabled this act. Like, for say, if someone hides a criminal in their house, they become accomplice to their crimes. They still get jail time, yes or no? What I don't understand is, do you really think staying silent makes them innocent? It doesn't. It makes them part of the problem. And if that makes people uncomfortable, good. This whole episode was to make people uncomfortable, because it happens so much. It happens everywhere. The stories every single girl has heard and experienced. Do the adults really sleep better at night by turning a blind side? Because I'm an adult now and I'm angry. I'm actually so angry. You sit across these men at gatherings, at Eid gatherings, at family gatherings, at weddings, laugh with them, shake their hands, and convince yourself everything is normal? Because I genuinely wanted to understand, how are you not angry? How is your blood not boiling? How do you sleep better at night? Like, how are you not so disgusted? Because this goes against every Islamic thing you've ever learnt about. How do you look at a child that grew up knowing you failed that child? How do you call yourself a parent? How do you call yourself a walid? Allowing things like this to slide, to be brushed under the table? Or is it because it didn't happen to your daughter? Because it wasn't your child, because it wasn't your pain. Protecting the family mattered more than protecting the girl. And then yet, while it still expect girls to sit silently while you lectured them about morality, about akhlaq, about deen, about right and wrong. And with all due disrespect, yeah? I said that right. With all due disrespect, some of you guys lost the rights to question us, to talk to us, because you failed to protect them. Because how are you gonna lecture girls about honor while protecting dishonorable men? How are you guys going to demand obedience while silencing victims, when your silence helped these predators roam around freely? And if you're not willing to bring justice, please don't call me, message me, question me, because I'm not here to name names, although I've got a lot of names to name and stories to tell you. That's not my job here. My job here is to make it aware that these predators live in every single family, but no one wants to talk about. So don't call me to correct me. Stay seated. Ijlisu. Stay seated in the same silence you hid in before, because anything that comes out of your mouth now, we laugh at and think, who does he think he is? And we would have never done that had you respected your title as a walid, as a man, as a qawwam. A matter of fact, I'm not even going to say it just for men, even aunties, women, older women. Mafish. There isn't any. But yeah, we listen, we nod, we just laugh at the hypocrisy. Al-nifaq. Like we were taught at such a young age. And al-munafiqun. Isn't that munafiq? Being a hypocrite? Isn't that it? Or is my understanding completely different to your understanding of what a hypocrite is? And before anyone starts panicking, I'm not going to name names, although I have names, stories that genuinely break my heart. Stories from girls, stories from women, stories from men, stories from little boys as well. Stories that should have ended differently. And if people I'm talking about hear this, which I kind of know you will, good. Because I want you to know, we all know. I want you to know, if you did this to a girl, everybody knows, but they're just not doing anything about it. But we're at a time where we will start doing something about it. There's hope in the next generation that will not turn a blind eye like our walids did, our grown-ups did. None of that. Our next generation will hold people accountable. And I know sometimes it might be too late to hold you accountable, but we can make you feel uncomfortable. I know I've been making some uncles uncomfortable by not even acknowledging them, by treating them like dirt. And I know you know who you guys are, because if the shoe fits, walk in shame. And before I end this episode, I want to say I'm sorry that people that should have protected you didn't. I'm sorry that people that should have believed you didn't, because you guys deserved so much better. You guys deserved another ending to your story. You guys deserve to let go of this heavy burden that you guys carry, which shouldn't have been yours to carry in the first place. If no one has told you guys before, I'm sorry, but I'm telling you guys now, you deserved better. Anyways, chaotix, I'll see you guys in the next episode.